How's it going? Probably no one's here yet, but that's okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's set up a Google form for a topic that we're going to um, that we're going to do the tutorial about later. And let's also bring up the earlier. So yesterday we did some really cool work. We made this grid, and sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. We made this grid, but let's hey, uh, I think it's Commander Griffin, Cash Bear, Lurks. How's it going, guys? I'm setting up the questionnaire right now for the topic that we should focus on later. Hey, Kerpat. Hey, Polize. Hey, Cycle Motion. How's it going, guys? Guys and girls? So yesterday we did a tutorial on CSS Grid, and it turned out pretty good, actually. I can show you the result. So this is the result of our CSS Grid tutorial, and it was mostly like, it's hard to call it a tutorial because a lot of it was just like an exploration for me too, because I didn't really know that much about CSS Grid. But we learned a lot, or at least, yeah, I think we learned a lot. And it was mostly around this grid template areas thing. So it turns out that, okay, cool. See you later, Android. Hope to see you soon. Be back in time for the tutorial, especially if you want it to be about React. So yesterday we learned about grid template areas, which basically just like allow you to name like pieces of your grid, and then the elements that they refer to are going to expand into that area. So like right here, for example, you can see like all these eyes. That's going to be this element right here. So it basically like splits your page down into these like tiny little like, you can kind of think of it like pixel art, you know, like pixel blocks, and then it's going to like fill up, you know, 3 by however many this is, 3 by 9. So this is like a 3 by 9 block here, and it's really cool too because it's responsive down to like a pretty small size. So we set out to create this like comic book layout thing, and we actually pulled it off. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think we'll go through this a little bit later too, just to like kind of review what we learned. But for now, I'm gonna just finish working on this. So this is how we pick the topic that we're gonna do the tutorial about, which I'll probably start the tutorial in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Probably closer to 2 hours. And I'll send this out to the chat after I think I just have to copy it. And then this will be like what we do the tutorial about. Okay, so make a copy. I'll say like tutorial topic questionnaire. Okay. Tutorial topic. I guess we'll name it. And then I guess I can put a description in here. We'll just say like the topic with the most votes will be what we do a 30 to 60 minute tutorial on at around 1 p.m. You can select more than one topic. Okay, cool. So now that should be saved. So now I can share this. So if you guys want to fill this out, it'll help me decide. Answering this questionnaire will help me decide what to do the tutorial about. Okay, cool. Hey, Commander Root, welcome. I'm going to be working on a framework I've been working on for a while, and then we're going to do a tutorial later in this live cast, and it's going to be on a topic selected by the chat. So if you fill out the questionnaire that I just posted in chat, it'll help us decide what to do the tutorial about. Oh yeah, and then this is what we did yesterday. So we did a tutorial on CSS Grid, and we ended up creating this layout, which is like responsive down to a pretty small size. We actually got some like help from chat on this because I didn't really know how to do it. So that was really cool. Okay, so I'm going to see what my next focus is. I think it's going to be the inline edit popovers. So for remake, the idea is that you can just like add some data to a page and it's going to automatically be editable. So in order for it to be automatically editable, there has to be areas that you can just like click on to edit them. So I can show you guys an example. Let's see. I'm going to go into my test. So we'll go remake test. And then I think I start this. Actually, no, I know how to start this. So I do this. And then I do browser refresh server.js. And I believe that's going to be on port 3000. So if you're curious what these commands do, parcel is a bundler, so I'm just bundling my JavaScript, and then browser refresh is kind of like PM2 or NodeMon, where it like refreshes your server whenever the code changes. But browser refresh is gonna, I think it's gonna like restart and refresh the server whenever anything changes, not just JavaScript. So I found it to be useful for that. So if you guys are curious, this is what I'm working on. So like right now, this page is built with Remake. It has data attached to each element. And when you click on each element, you'll see this really crappy looking inline edit area pop up. But it's filled with the data that we're editing. So like this ASFKJA, like it's populated in the inline edit area. So what I want to do is make a really nice design for this inline edit area, and also make it so that we don't have to create the inline edit area ourselves. It should be automatically created by Remake for us. Right now we're having to create it ourselves though, so that's what I want to work on today. If you guys have any questions about anything, just let me know and I will try to address them. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to decide, should I work inside of this project? I guess there's not really a downside to working inside of this project. So yeah, another thing I wanted to do with Remake is, hey Chubo Wobo, how's it going? Chuba Wobo. What are you working on today, and what do you want to learn about? I'm going to be doing a tutorial in a couple hours, or probably an hour and a half. Blood trail? What's that? That sounds dangerous slash interesting. So another thing that Remake does for you is you can just like create a folder inside of Pages, and you just put a template in there along with a config, and it's going to automatically render that template for you. So I'm going to put like an index njk. NJK stands for nunchucks. It's the templating we're using. Templating library. It's like very similar to HTML, but then you have like some curly braces for like inserting content. Oh, oh man, it's a cool. It's like a thumbs up Twitch emote. Cool. Okay, so I thought it was like a technology. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was like like a like a debug logger for like server, the server side. You know, like you know how you used to have like sometimes you have like a stack trace. I was like, blood trail. That must be like a stack trace for like really dangerous errors. But no, it's just a Twitch remote. Okay, so we're going to make this test page, and then we need to add a config in here so that it knows which which route this page should be at and what the title of the page should be. So we're just going to say like this is a test page, and we're going to put it at like /test. And hey R322 Tard, how's it going? I'm working on Remake.js right now. It's a framework that makes it incredibly simple to build web applications. So I'm working on that. What are you working on today? If you have an idea for any like topics that I should do the tutorial on later today, let me know, and I will definitely try to include that or at least mention it at some point. There's also a form you could fill out right here. So if you want to fill that out, that'll help me decide which topic to do the tutorial on. Okay, so we'll have a title for this page, and we'll just make a test for now. Let's just see if we can actually get this rendering, right? Okay, so we're going to do /test. Hey, S1Faka, how's it going? So I was just explaining that Remake.js automatically is going to like allow you to, it's going to automatically create routes based on you creating like pages inside of this pages directory. So I just created a new page test, and we have our JavaScript bundle in there. I'm a little worried about using this JavaScript bundle as it is. Because I guess I can delete this. We don't really need this anymore. Yeah, because this is actually doing a lot, but I guess it's not like really interfering with the page too much, so I can just include it and then just like work off of this. Am I actually using this one though? I don't think I'm using that one. Let's see. So if I delete that, and I come back here, yeah, I think we're good. So if we go in the console, we're not getting any errors. Okay, so I wasn't even using that file. Okay, so we've got Remake.js, we got some Ajax helpers that have us let us do like some simple Ajax calls. We've got an index file. I want to kind of package this up a little bit better. So I'm going to make a new file, and I'm going to call it like remake init, and we're going to import that from here. So we're going to import JS remake init, just so we can get rid of all of this stuff here. I don't really care about it right now. I'm working on other stuff, so this can kind of go away for now, and I'm okay with that. So we'll save that, save that. Let's see if that works. So it kind of looks like it's working. Yeah, and we've got the data saving. If you're curious like what this application looks like, so this is like a to-do list. You can like edit each item and you can like, you know, save the new item. So like if you put like an exclamation point and then save it and then refresh it, the data is saved. If you're wondering like what that application looks like, we can go into the templates, the home template. This is like the whole application. So it can be a little confusing at first because you have all these like data attributes and stuff. Like you have data save deep, you have data type. Like I was like, what does that even mean, right? Um, but uh, all it takes is these data attributes in order to get all of this to work. So like this area right here, this is the inline edit area. So like when you click on this and this inline edit area pops up, that's what this is. And this is going to be taken care of for you automatically. That's actually what I'm working on right now, is getting this to work. And then this is the application itself. So this is actually all you're going to have to write yourself. And that's this is the thing I'm working on right now, is this attribute, which is going to automatically create this this inline edit area for you. Okay, so now that we move the remake stuff, now we have a test page. If I do like console log 1, 2, 3, just to make sure. Hey, Jungai, Silverbeat, Joja, Leet, and Cash Bear. How's it going? I'm working on the remake JS tutorial. Not tutorial. I'm working on the remake JS code, making it a lot simpler and easier to use. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have a suggestion on what I should do the tutorial on, please use this form. Let's see. So fill out that form to let me know what I should do the tutorial on. Okay, so it looks like this is failing now. So I just need to change these routes because we moved up a directory. Cannot find module JS remake JS query. I really love Webpack errors. Or I guess this isn't even Webpack. This is Parcel. But like bundler errors are the worst. Vigo Pros, VMK, how's it going? What are you guys working on today? Okay, so let's see. Is remake? I think this is at the right. Oh, wait. Did I removed it for too much, right? Didn't I? So query, wait. $ from remake.query.js. So yeah, that should work, I think. Because we're in remake init, and we're just going up to remake.js. And this should just select Ajax from the current directory. So maybe if I just save again. Oh my goodness, this is so annoying. Cannot find module .js. But I'm not using .js. Oh, it's in this one. Oh my goodness. Okay. GeoCrafter24, how's it going? How are you doing today? So, oh wait, no. This should be fine. I think this one's fine. Let's do like a console log at the top of this. Oh, you know what it is? No, I don't know if this is what it is, but let's delete that anyways, because that's not supposed to be there. And let's just search for like JS /. Yeah, so that's just on the remake JS. Okay, so let's console log like 321 up here just to see if that's the issue. Oh, okay. I think we're good now. Okay, page is working again. If I do like a hello world here and save that, Chubo Wobo, how's it going? Okay, so we've got this working, and now we should have our test page working too. That's awesome. So now we can get started on our tests. So basically, I wrote up some documentation about this yesterday, and my idea is that I think what I want to do is have a syntax that looks something like this. So it's going to be like data-o-key-editable, and then it's going to be like the fields that are editable, and then like what type of thing is being edited. So is it like a single line of text, or is it a choice? Hey Solvin, how's it going? How's your day going? Nice to see you again. Oh yeah, cool. That's awesome. I appreciate that a lot. No problem. I think my friend's going to be there for two weeks. You're refactoring order history and order details. So yeah, that's better than exports and collation, right? I still don't know what collation is, by the way. But that's cool. Refactoring order. So are you like refactoring the what do you call it? Like the database schema, or are you like moving data around, or? Okay, so I kind of outlined the structure I wanted for these inline edit popovers. This is going to be the key that's going to be synced. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense just saying this like this, but we're going to just pretend like people, I'm going to just pretend like people understand for now. So like we'll have a div, and we'll have like some data on it. So in order to like say that like an element has some data, we attach like a data output type to it called object. Okay, so basically, so this is what collation is. If you have strings in the database, yeah, I want to understand this. So what is collation? If you have strings in the database in a table that is UTF-8 general CI instead of UTF-8 Unicode CI, then you get an issue when you try to combine the two types in the same query. Okay, so is collation normalizing the data, like converting the UTF-8 general to UTF-8 Unicode? Okay. Okay, so it's like converting it so that you can match it. So is it making a new field on the table? Or is it just like a temporary kind of inline thing? Hey, LPaint Code, how's it going? So this is how you attach data to an element in Remake. No, just stuff in configs, or sometimes an inline thing in the query. Okay, cool. I'm glad that I understand that better now. You can also convert all of it, but I don't want to for one export. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to just like have one field like randomly created and then like no one knows why it's there and no one knows like which is the right field to use. So it's better to just do it on the fly and not pollute the database probably a lot of the time. Okay, so data switch action. Cool. So for this, so I know what I said just a second ago is that I wanted this syntax, but I kind of decided to go went a slightly different route to use. Yeah, I'm just kind of building Remake right now. I'm like building up to getting ready to. I'm building up to getting ready to get ready to prepare for, some stuff. No, I'm. I want to like get a I want to have a tutorial, but I want it to be like simple and easy. And right now, the code is just a tiny bit too complex, I think, especially for beginners. And this framework's like really meant for beginners, and so I'm a little ashamed of kind of how difficult it is to understand right now. So I'm trying to add a few things that'll make it a lot easier to work with, and then I'm going to do a tutorial probably. I'm hoping in like a week or two, but it might take longer. Like all technical projects, it might take longer. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm just kind of like building the framework and working up to a tutorial. Cool. I'm glad. I'm glad I have one person interested in the framework. I hope that I don't disappoint. I hope that it turns out good. And I think it will. Honestly, I'm like, I'm pretty proud of the framework. I know it's like confusing when you're first getting started with it, but after you start working with it a little bit, it's so much simpler than a lot of other frameworks to use. So I'm really happy about that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'd kind of be okay if like me and like two other people were the only people to use this. It would be kind of cool to get it more popular, but I think for now just having like a few people interested is fine. So this is how we attach data. Now we're going to we attach this key, which is an editable key. So this syntax is definitely a lot more complicated than the syntax I had before, mostly because we're adding this switch action, which is like, someone might not understand like where that's coming from. But I think that's okay for now. Because I think if I just like explain it up front, that might be okay. So yeah, we're just going to go with this for now, even though it's a little weird. Okay, so we'll have like a remake area down here, and this is like data that's going to be sorry about that. So this is an area that's going to be populated by remake. So this is an area that people aren't really going to have to worry about. It's going to be auto-generated. So I can even say like remake auto-generated, just to like remind myself in the future. Okay, so yeah, let's write out the full code and see if we can get it working. So like I'm going to write out all of the, I'm going to write out all of the auto-generated code, and then we're going to see if we can get it to auto-generate after that. Okay, so we've got this object, it's got a key on it, it's got a switch, so that's everything it needs in order to like have data on it, right? This is what it needs to have data on it, these two keys. And then this is what it needs to sync data into a different element. So let's make the element that it's going to sync data into. And it's going to kind of look like this. So let's just grab this. And we'll delete like everything we don't need. Or change things as we need to change them. So we're going to do like remake edit. That's going to be the class of the form. And then the switch needs to correspond to this switch. So we're going to just do that there. We can delete this extra name for that secondary argument. By the way, if you guys are curious, you can go to remakejs.com for all of the documentation. And there's a quick reference at the top of the page where you can see like what all of these properties are doing. I just wrote that up yesterday, so it's pretty fresh. Okay, so this is what it needs to know that this one's going to be the one that's turning on. However, this is actually not exactly what I want. So like right now, if we go to the inline edit area, right here, and we click this, we get the inline edit area, but there's no backdrop. Like it's not clear that like this should be the focus. So I want a backdrop there. So we need to have like this thing here. And you'll notice that in my original, I had a switch on this one too. So I could just turn that on by doing like backdrop on here, and then that switch would turn on too. But instead, why don't we just wrap both of these in a single switch? And then if we have a single switch of remake edit, right? Then we can control the visibility of both of these with the same switch. Okay, so now we've got remake edit backdrop. Now we need to put these both inside of that like parent switch. Oh man, my tabs are all messed up. I got spaces, I got tabs. Okay, there we go. Now we just got spaces. Okay, cool. So we've got it wrapped all in the same switch called remake edit. And I think we're also going to move the remake edit class up to that top level. And so we got remake edit, and then we've got the switch, and then we've got the remake edit backdrop. Okay, and then this is going to be the remake edit form, because we only need one. And I'm just going to add this here. Sometimes I like adding things ahead of time just because it's going to remind me later on. You know, one of the biggest downsides of being a human is that you have a memory and you forget sometimes. So I'll just add that in there just so I remember to implement it later. And then we can delete this switch because we added it to like the parent area. Now the problem with this, as we have it, is that data is going to sync into, it's going to look for the sync attribute. Return my shoes. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm working on a custom framework that is not quite ready for public release, but it will be soon, and it's going to make building web apps really simple. I'm also going to do a tutorial in a little bit more than an hour. If you want to fill out a form to decide what the tutorial is going to be about, you can fill out this form that we've got right here. And based on what gets the most votes, we'll do a tutorial on that. Or an exploration. It might be an exploration if I don't know very much about the topic. Also, feel free to add your own topic to the form, and I will add it to the main choices so that other people can see it. Hey, Alter Charlie. Hey, Joja Elite. How's it going? I can't tell with these notifications if it's like people joining the channel or if it's just saying like these guys are in the channel already. Because sometimes I get like repeated notifications, but whatever. That's fine. Okay, so so the switch element is going to be where the data input sync attribute is looked for, so we need to actually move this up here. Which is fine, because the data can still be synced into lower level elements. That's one of the nice things about Remake. It's very flexible. Okay, so now we've got data output type is object, and then we've got this custom key. We're going to get rid of that because we actually want to generate those keys automatically. Let's see, or I guess we could leave it for now. So let's pretend that like this is the data we want to sync. So we'll have like key name and we'll do like John. Then we're going to put that onto this element. And so when this is modified, when the data of like the name is modified, the way you're going to modify it is by popping up this auto-generated inline edit area. So that's what we're working on right now, is building out this inline edit area. And instead of, well, yeah, I guess we'll do like a watcher. I mean, why not? We'll do watch key name, and we'll do like inner text for this, because I think we already built out the watcher for that. Yeah, inner text. So it's just going to set the inner text on the element whenever that changes. Okay, so let's get back into it. So we have data syncing working, we think. We have the switches working. We have the backdrop. We have the form. We still need to style all these things, but we're not going to worry about that quite yet. Geez, I'm sorry. I have something in my throat. I'll be right back. Okay, really sorry about that. Okay, so I don't know, I might be talking for like 3.5 to 4 hours every day on Twitch. That is making my throat sore, or it could just be not drinking enough water. Probably a little bit of both. Okay, so we've got the data syncing, we've got the switches, we've got the backdrop, we've got the form with the right name, with the right data. And then we're going to generate, I believe we're going to generate the input, but for now, let's just build out the structure of this. So let's go to our documentation, and oh, I forgot one thing. We want this. We want data W key editable. So we can put this on the top level actually. And we can sync in this, right? Because we need that. This is all of our data about which items are being edited. So we're going to say name here, text single line, and we can delete the rest of this here. Okay, so this, all this means is that we're editing the name key, which we can see is right here, and where it should be edited as a single line. And then this watch function is going to be what handles all of that for us. So let's set that up. What was it called? Remake, edit, setup. So we're going to do function. We'll get all the values that we'll get when we sync data. And then we'll just like console log remake, edit, setup, just so we know like that it's being called when it's being called. Okay, so we got the backdrop, we got the form. What's next? So what's inside of this? Oh yeah, we need to add the keys up here on the form. So let's make like a little comment. This is going to be, should we do invalid HTML or valid HTML? I don't know if that works. I guess we can just like do invalid. Ugh. It's just because like I guess I want to see this working first, so I don't want to put in invalid HTML. I'm thinking like, you know, if I just want to add a comment to fill in later. But no, I'll add like a valid HTML comment, and we'll put in like add the keys here. Something like that. Oh yeah, and that's like an example of one of the keys. Okay, so I think that's valid inside of this, but I'm not sure. I guess we can add it outside. So we'll say like in here, add the keys, data keys, that will be synced back. Okay, so now I want to wrap this in something. Oh, sorry. We need we need the types that are being edited too. So the types are going to allow us to style this form in the future. That's the only point of them. Data types that are edited in the form. We can say field types. Add the like form field types that are used in the form. Okay, cool. So we've got that. We've got syncing with the name. Okay, now the children. Okay, so first of all, we want to add this area so that we just have like a parent area where all of the edit areas are. So we're going to add that. And then inside of this, I think we're going to add just like a single edit area. Yep, so just like depluralize that, singularize that, whatever. And then, let's see. So that's going to have the actual input elements inside of it. We have an example of that as one such input element, so we can just put that up inside there. And we can do remake edit underscore underscore input. If you guys are curious about like what this syntax is, it's called BEM. It's like the BEM methodology for writing CSS, and it just makes working with CSS's global scope a lot easier. So I know I have auto up here, but I think I'm going to change this to no auto. If you're curious what that does, it just means that if you click elsewhere on the page, it's not going to automatically close this inline edit area. You have to kind of like explicitly close it. Okay, and that means that we're going to have to explicitly close it. So when you click on the backdrop behind the inline edit area, we're going to have a switch action there that closes it. Hey Zaku0809, hey Sunlance, how's it going? If you guys have any ideas for what the tutorial should be on, that we're going to be working on soon, in about an hour, you can fill out that form. Right now I'm working on a framework that makes building web applications incredibly easy, and I'm getting it to like its alpha release, which will probably be in a few weeks. But if you want to look at the documentation, it's at remakejs.com. Okay, so data switch action. So we're going to turn it off when you click on the backdrop. And then let's see. So we've got the data syncing in here. I know I've already said that like a million times. Okay, so then we've got the input. So now we don't need this stop area. This data input attribute, data I attribute, is going to make it so that this input syncs with the closest data output key. So that's going to work with that. So name is going to just equal name in this example, but this is all going to be auto-generated. So this isn't really what it's going to look like. We're just kind of creating a template for our eventual template, a template for our template. Okay, so we got this. name is going to be name. We've got the parent area, and then we've got the remake edit buttons. Okay, so we'll do that. .commie, what a good name. That's a very original name. I like that. Not that I like communists, but I don't know. They're okay, I guess. How's it going? How's the social revolution progressing? Is it is it going okay? I hope so. Okay, so we've got an anchor tag with a class of remake edit cancel. I think we're gonna do like remake edit and then like button, and then we'll have like a button dash dash cancel. That makes more sense to me, and it makes more sense, I think, to the BEM methodology. And then we're going to have a save button and a cancel button, remake edit submit. Oh, okay. I guess I said submit for that one. It could be save though. Save or submit, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so now we've got everything we need, I think. Now let's see our errors. Now we're going to get lots of errors, maybe. Or maybe just like bugs. Okay, so if we look at the page and we refresh, let's see if we go into app and we go into remake, let's see if this switch turns on when I click this name, which it should. And it's not. Okay, yeah, nothing's happening. Okay, so switch action, oh wait, am I looking at the wrong thing? No. Data switches, this has remake edit on it, and then data switch actions has on. So it should be triggering on. Let's see, get data from root node. I just want to see if I have this. Yeah, so that's getting the data from the page. I just wanted to make sure remake was working in general. So it's possible that I misremembered the syntax. Remake edit, data switches, data switch, oh, data switch actions. It's data switch actions plural. Oh, yeah. What a pain in the butt. Okay, so now when I click that, it switched on. See, so it got the switched on attribute. Let's refresh and see that again. I mean, like actually see it live. Okay, so this should get the switched on for this switch. So this switch called remake edit should be turned on here. Click, boom, nice. Oh, and we got it synced in too. And did we get the remake edit setup? So everything's working, everything's coming together. That's awesome. Okay, so we've got the data key editable that's syncing from the original to the turned on switch. The switch is turning on. If we click elsewhere, it's not going to turn off. Unless we click the backdrop. Let's look at the backdrop. The backdrop is non-existent. It has a height of 0, so we can't click on it, so we can never turn this off. Okay, but there's another way we want to be able to turn this off, which I think is by clicking the cancel button. So let's add that functionality real quick. So we've got, we're just going to put these attributes on separate lines. And I usually like putting the standard attributes first and then the remake attributes afterwards. So we're going to do data switch actions, plural this time. Actions, oh, and I made that mistake up here too. Okay, so we're just going to copy that one. Remake edit off. Okay. So if I refresh this page and I click this cancel button, we should see a hash appear at the top of the URL, which is not intentional. And we should also see this, where is it? See it turn off. Okay, so let's see it turn on first. Right now. Okay, so it turned on. It gets this data switched on attribute. Now this attribute should be removed when we cancel. Hey, Shima Shiro, how's it going? Great. So we canceled, we got the hash and the URL, which wasn't intentional, and everything is kind of working. One thing I'm a little concerned about is this. This is coming in as undefined. Let's figure out what's going on there. So in our original, in our like app area, we have data o key equals name. So we have a key equal name. Hey dude, I'm curious, what are you working on today? What do you do? And what kind of tutorial do you want me to do in about an hour? I have this form, if you want to fill it out and give us an idea of what you want to learn about, I'll use that in order to inform what the tutorial is going to be about. Okay, so, and I'm curious, like what you're doing, what you're working on, if you have any side projects, if you need help with anything, advice, technical advice, life advice, philosophical advice, anything. Or if you want to give advice, I could probably use some advice too. Okay, so I think we've got that working. Okay, so yeah, we were wondering why this data wasn't syncing. So we've got data key name equals John, CSS3. So you want to learn CSS3 or you know CSS3? Hey, Call Rocket, how's it going? So we're gonna sync. Key data o key name John. Oh, okay. Wait. I know what's going on here. Well, no, I actually don't know what's going on here. Data I name equals name. I'm not sure. Did I not implement this correctly? Okay, let's look for name. And let's just change all of these names to like, I don't know, like, it could be anything. Wow. We'll just do wow. Okay, so now we're gonna just say, we're gonna change these all. You're looking for Udemy courses on CSS3? Is that that's what you're looking for? Oh wait, not there. CSS3. Are you sure you want to do a Udemy course? Because there's a lot of resources out there. What in particular are you interested in learning? Do you want to learn like, you want to learn Grid? You want to learn Flexbox? You want to learn, what else is in CSS3? I guess there's probably like a lot of smaller editions. CSS3. There's probably a lot actually. Oh yeah, variables, right? Color module, new selectors, media queries. Huh. CSS fragmentation. Flexbox? Have you seen the CSS trick? I mean, you must have seen the CSS tricks Flexbox right? Page. This one, A Complete Guide to Flexbox. It's really, really good. Pretty much teaches you everything you need. There's also Flexbox Froggy, I think. Yeah, this is a really good one. You should definitely do that. This is better than any Udemy course you would ever take. I guarantee it. Check that out. And then there's another one too. Is it this one? Yeah, there's like a Flexbox Tower Defense. This looks similar to Flexbox Froggy. Um, mm, but yeah, I had some success with Flexbox Froggy. That's kind of how I learned the beginning of Flexbox. And then the CSS tricks. Honestly, it's the best. This is like my go-to. Yeah, Semantic UI. I like Semantic UI. Um, although, yeah, there are some things I don't like about it. Hey, Age Monkey. Hey, Roku Anji. We're exploring some CSS stuff. So yeah, this is like a UI library. So don't get me started on UI libraries. Oh wait, you already did. You just did. So I'm going to tell you about some other ones. There's Turret CSS, which is really, really good. There's Bulma CSS, which is really, really good. Um, what else? Oh, this one. If you don't know about this one, it's so good. So this is material design components. This is from Google, and it's so amazing. Like they test these so well, and all of the designs are like really well thought out. It takes a little bit extra to implement it, but like, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is just gorgeous. Like you go to Semantic UI, and I mean, not to shit on the thing that you love, because honestly, this is really good too, and I like Semantic UI is awesome. Um, it's really, really nice. Um, however, I think that material design components kind of goes up a notch in terms of the quality. Um, it just looks so slick. It looks like you have a professional designer on your team, and they, you know, designed everything for you. But yeah, this is what I use at work actually. Um, like, look at these radio buttons. Do you see how like the little circle in there animates in? Like it grows. I don't think a lot of other UI libraries do that. But this one's cool too. Don't get me wrong. Semantic UI is pretty sweet. I didn't mean to like shoot it down. That was maybe a little rude. I'm not sure. Was it rude? Um, I don't know. I was just trying to share with you some other ideas of frameworks that you could use. I think there's a lot out there, and if you're making a decision around that, it's good to have options, to explore different ideas before you settle on one. So for some reason, this is not working, but it is working here. Data name equals text. It has data I on it. So what is different about this? Hey, Kiss the best. How's it going? I'm working on a framework, getting it ready for the alpha release in a couple weeks. What are you working on? What are you interested in? What are you thinking about? Um, Shima Shiro. We were just talking about stuff. What did you did you check out the Flexbox tutorials I sent you, or what's up? So this isn't syncing data for some reason. So I would expect that this would work. Data O, data I sync. It's syncing the data into this key. Hey Pezem, how's it going? Um, is there anything you're curious about learning, and what do you like to do with your free time? Awesome, Shimashiro, thanks for responding. Um, what do you think of Free Code Camp? I've been programming in C++, Python for around 4 years and mainly do embedded projects, so I have been doing Free Code Camp to get familiar with web development. Um, I, my honest opinion, like I can't form like a total opinion because I've only seen like a few tutorials and like used a few of their tutorials. So I haven't really like uh, dived deep into it. However, based on my short experience and knowledge of that platform, um, I would say I am incredibly jealous of anyone learning web development right now because Free Code Camp and a few things like it are so good and give you so much good guidance and like a strong community that I think they're just like out of this world. I think if you just like stuck with Free Code Camp and just did that, um, you could become like a professional web developer relatively soon. You know, like as soon as you could with like a boot camp or something. The problem with learning web development today is that there's just so many people pointing you in so many different directions. You have to like choose one thing and stick with it. And in my opinion, Free Code Camp is one of those things that if you just chose that and stuck with it, you would be like, yes, that would be amazing. Like I think it's an amazing, amazing resource and community. And they have very high quality, I think, very high quality tutorials. So hopefully maybe that answers your question. I'm going to try moving this type. I don't think that's going to matter. So I'm getting undefined here. Why am I getting undefined? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I see like free code camp tutorials pop up in my YouTube feed all the time, and they always seem really good. I think if you're just starting out, especially, some of them are a little basic for me, so I'll usually like skip to the middle of the video, but they seem like they really know what they're talking about, and they have a lot of really good people working for them. So yeah, I definitely recommend. Um, yeah. Okay, so we're getting undefined with this. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Practical test. You really need to like implement what you learn. If you don't use what you learn in a project, you're going to forget it. So you really need to like have a project you're working on that you want to get from the initial stages of like an HTML website to a deploy. Like you want to deploy a live website with like users and like a form that you could submit and like a database. If you can go all the way there, you're doing great. But if you just keep looking at tutorials, and you can learn everything about everything, and it's not going to convert to like real world practical experience. So you really, I think, as soon as you can, as soon as you feel comfortable, I'd say, definitely pick up a project and start working towards getting it launched. Um, and it could even just be like a simple, HTML website on Netlify or something like that. But as long as it's something that you're interested in, that you want to get out there, having a project, there's no better substitute. Like people ask me all the time, like, what about this tutorial? What about that tutorial? How do I learn, JavaScript? And there's no better tutorial than having a project that you're working on, just period. Like free code camp could not exist, YouTube could not exist, Twitch could not exist. But if you have a project and you have a will to like make it real, that's really all that matters. That's going to get you there, That's my advice, at least. I mean, I'm sure you'll see you'll see lots of other opinions too, but I think there's really no substitute for a real project. So yeah, so for some reason this isn't working. So we're syncing the data into this area with the data I sync. And I mean, it's setting the value on the, wait, it's setting the value, data, wow, huh. I guess I have to like debug this a little bit. Okay, let's go debug it. So let's go into the framework code. Woohoo! So we'll go into remake and we'll go into synced data. This is like literally where all of the problems happen. So we'll go into synced data, or not where all the problems happen. It's just like the like on a highway, if you have like a major intersection or whatever, this is that intersection. Okay, so what we want to populate the input area, sync to input keys. This is what we want. So let's do a debugger here, and then let's refresh this. And then let's click that, and we've got synced to input keys. Okay, cool. So let's look at target element. We've got the target element. We've got the camel case key name. We've got the actual value of undefined. Okay. So this, I think, is where our problem arises. Oh, I think I know what it is. I think, so this feels very, very not good. Okay, actually, first I want to confirm that this is what's happening. Okay, so actual value, man, framework code, writing a framework and then looking at the code later is like, what? I'm really happy that I added documentation strings. Voit conf fill. How are you doing? Okay, so we're getting the full data object for each. Sync to input keys. Actual value. What is this? What is this even doing? Like sync location and output keys. What is this doing? Source element, target element. So we get the data from the source element, and then we're going to loop through each key in the data and get the camel case key name. We have the original value, the data source element, and the dash case key name. Sync to location or output key. What does that do? Find one closest matching key on the target element. If it exists, replace its value with the value from the assembled object. If it exists, okay, that makes sense. Call watch functions. The default value is intended to overwrite the value immediately. Okay, so set value for key name, then return actual value. Why? What is this actual value thing? Actual value. Oh, okay, get value or default value. I don't know. I don't know. This is, it's confusing to read through old code. So I know why I did this, because you're able to set a default for each of the keys, and so you can't just use the value that, like the original value, because it might get overwritten by the default value. I guess. Okay. Can I see maybe what the original value is then? Because I'm worried that the original value isn't anything either. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the debugger for now, and then we will refresh. Boom. Okay, so we've got original value John, original value name Steve Stunts. Welcome to the live codecast. If you have some opinions about what we should do a tutorial about, please answer this form. Also, we'd love to know what you're working on and what you like to do in your free time. Okay, so we've got original value. So this is exactly what we want. We want this value, and I'm afraid that that's not what the actual value ends up being. Well, I think we already kind of know that, because I think we just saw that it ends up being nothing. Okay. Well, original value works, but actual value doesn't. So this is the area that we need to debug. So this one. Mr. Maru, oi mu nom e bitina, hello. Or we, right? We, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But welcome to the stream. I am deep in some framework code trying to debug why some data isn't syncing. And I have a theory, but I'm not liking what the theory is. I'm considering rewriting the framework from scratch. Not really, that's just a joke. But even just saying it makes me panic a little bit inside. Okay, so sync to location or output key. Closest matching element data attribute selector. Okay, so here's the thing. So I think this is what's causing the problem. Appreciate the brief. Oh, nice, cool. I think that you're saying, like, you appreciate the summary of what we're up to. Okay, so I think what this is, what's happening here. Okay, nice, cool, thank you. Oh yeah, and did you already see this link? So if you vote on that link, it'll determine what we do the tutorial about in about a half an hour. Okay, so I think what's happening here is when we sync data between elements, we're only syncing between the top level elements. So I think that just means that we need to move this. Oh, also, this doesn't have a data type of object on it. Zishan Tamboli, how's it going? I am working on a framework right now, and we're going to do a tutorial in about a half an hour. If you have any ideas for what that tutorial should be about, or anything you're learning or questioning, let me know, and I will add it to the list. Okay, so yeah, it's only going to sync with the top level element. So that's what's happening there. So we want to move this, basically. Very simple, very easy. Okay, it's kind of annoying that it's not going to sync with other elements, but it does make the framework more efficient. So that's good. Okay, so now if I save this, then I can, I believe, undo all of the changes that I did to sync data, because this is a very, I don't know, fragile, sacred, I don't know how to say it. It's a very something that I don't want to mess with. It's a thing I don't want to mess with, because it's fundamentals of the framework. Okay, so let's go in here. We've got our data. Nice, okay. So we refresh the page. If we click this, now we get John. Now John's syncing. It's because we moved the data to the top level. That's something I need to remember. I should add that to the documentation or something somewhere. Let's say like I'll add like always attach data to the top level element that that you can. I don't know. That's a really bad way of phrasing it, but that's what I'll have for now. I'll rewrite it later. Always attach data to at the highest point possible. That's better. Point possible, especially, or like, it always needs to be at the top level of an inline edit element. Okay. I don't know if that's super relevant for people because ideally they're not going to have, no one's going to have to create inline edit elements themselves because it's going to be handled by the framework. Okay, cool. So now we've got the data syncing in. Okay, so now let's play around a little bit more. So now we've got this area here. Interruptions are the worst. The framework I'm using is called Remake.js. Brandon Kim. It's called Remake.js, and it hasn't quite been released to the public yet. It's a framework that I built myself. If you go to remakejs.com, you can see all of the documentation. I just made this quick reference of all the attributes right here. So if you go to this page, on the quick reference, you can see like what all the attributes are doing and how they work together in order to create a web application. Also, there's a public roadmap and a site that is currently in development and not working yet. It only has the first page, and even that isn't very accurate yet. Android says, okay, I'm back from dinner, what are we doing? Awesome, cool. So Android, I'm working on my framework and trying to get these inline edit areas like these to actually look nice and to be auto-generated. And then we're going to do a tutorial. And if you have any ideas for what the tutorial should be about, you should vote in this form. Vote for the tutorial topic coming soon. And we'll say like tutorial live soon. I don't know. form, boom. Okay. So yeah, so I'm just like working on the inline edit areas because I don't want people to have to create these inline edit areas themselves. I think ideally with a web application, you should just be able to create some like HTML and then attach a few data attributes, and then boom, you've got a framework, or sorry, you've got a web app that automatically saves itself, knows how to have its data edited, knows how to save, did I already say save its data? Knows how to render itself, like everything. So the whole idea behind Remake is that you just write pretty much HTML and then everything else is taken care of. So right now I'm working on that. Okay, so we've got this activating, and then we can turn it off with a cancel button. Boom. And then if we can turn it on again, and then if we click on the backdrop, oh yeah, we can't click on the backdrop yet. Okay, so that's working. So now let's start to style things. So I have a few styles I want to add. I'm going to go into the CSS, go into the main CSS, I guess. Where's my head template? Okay, so let's add in like another CSS file just called like remake CSS, and then we can work from there. So we've got remake CSS, and then we're going to copy the CSS that I have down here. Yeah, I want to know too. How do I select all of this? Okay, copy to clipboard. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this thing, remake CSS, and we include it in our head. So now that should be loading. We've got the backdrop. Is that what I called it? Backdrop. Remake edit. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Remake edit backdrop. And that's really nice of you to say. That makes me feel happy. Okay, so we're gonna move this up to the top because it's kind of like the container. If I was if I had more time. Oh no, you're pausing your project. You're pausing your project and going to work on an ORM and migration that is simpler than SQLize. Oh no. Have I ever had to use an ORM or migrations or SQLize? Oh, SQLize. You're asking about SQLize because so you got frustrated with SQLize, so now you're going to work on something else? If the question is, have I ever worked on SQLize? I have never used SQLize. I've actually, is this true? I don't think I've ever used a SQL database. I mean, I have like lately, like my company's used an SQL database a couple times, so it's like I've had to know the very basics. Yeah, but I really haven't like used it in any of my own projects, and I've never really had to work with it directly. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably get like a lot of people think I'm not a real web developer from that. But I've used Mongo, I've used Redis, and I've done a lot of stuff on the front end. So that's where I have the most experiences on the front end. But SQL databases are a little bit magic to me. That's the fun of a good ORM. You shouldn't have to think about it. Just run and make migration and migrate. Let the code prepare it for you. Yeah, a lot of my friends use Ruby on Rails, and it's really cool some of the things you can do with that, where you can just like automatically create relationships, and then on the objects you can just be like, get all the comments to this post, and then it just like automatically does the SQL statement for you, and like sets up all the relationships for you. I think that's super cool. Okay, SQLized tries to do it like Ruby on Rails, but fails on the migrations. Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure how Rails handles migrations. I think it might be a lot manual, although I am not one to talk because I don't really know, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to style all these things. We've got the form. I guess we'll add this to our CSS. Sometimes I like adding things to CSS even if we're not using them yet, just so that I know what can be styled. I'm just spoiled because of Django, so my only solution is now to make it. Oh yeah. So Django has pretty nice migration support. So we've got this areas thing. That looks good. This text area thing. Do we have a class for this? Yeah, we have the input thing. So we could do this. Yeah, let's do this. So we'll do remake edit text area and remake edit input, just to make it explicit. It does everything automatically based on what you defined as your model. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so when I first started programming, I tried Ruby on Rails, and it was like too advanced for me because I was just getting started programming, and it was already talking about like databases and stuff, and I was just confused. And then I got into Django, and it was the same thing because it was too advanced for me. And then I just used Python, and I used like a really simple, it was like web.py framework, and that I liked because I was just like, oh, I can just write this simple statement and it just works. But I got a really good impression from Django. Like, I think at this point I could go back to either Ruby on Rails or Django. Oh, it was a long time ago. This was in 2003, 2002, maybe? How old am I? I guess I'm kind of old. Oh, okay. Yeah, it might have been, yeah. I didn't think it was pre-1. Was it pre-1? Okay, so we got the text area, then we've got the remake edit buttons, and then we're gonna have the remake edit button, and let's see. We're gonna have save and cancel. So save, or no, sorry. This one's cancel. The default is going to be the save style, I think. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Actually, wait, there's one more thing I need to add. So this switched on. So we're going to say data switched on. Data switched on equals, oh, and this is, yeah, this is BEM. So this is a CSS file. Usually I work in Sass, and the nice thing about Sass is you don't need, so like, let me show you what it looks like in Sass. So you do like remake edit, and then below it, you do everything else, and you don't need the curly braces. Where's Sass? I don't have Sass installed. I just like did my whole thing. So with Sass, you can use this like ampersand, and it's gonna copy whatever the like root element is. So this is equivalent to like that, right? this is. So then you can do like button save, and then you can do like button, and then you can do like and container, and it's all going to be namespaced under remake edit. So it's just like a really nice way of writing BEM. But yeah, this is the same thing. Yeah. Sometimes people ask questions and I go way too in depth. Okay, so this, yeah, Sass is so much nicer. I would highly recommend checking out Sass. If only just because of the like no semicolons and no curly braces. That alone makes it worth it for me. So this tilde selector is pretty cool. Oh, nice. Cool. Thank you, Android. Android likes when I ramble. That's actually really cool. I will ramble more. I will intentionally ramble. Okay, so this is a really, really cool selector. If you don't know, I didn't know about this selector like 6 months ago. And it's the coolest selector that I've ever learned about. So this tilde selector. So it's an attribute selector. And how do I say this? So you use it like when you're selecting and wow, I think my brain just totally melted. So I think I'm pretty sure you can only use it when you're using an attribute. So the way you select an attribute is just with like the square brackets. So like if you want to select something that has like a data-i attribute on it, it's like this. So you would select that. Now, when you want to select an attribute with a word in it, this is how you would do it. You would do like data-i equals like Bob. And then that's going to select any element that looks like this. So you're going to data. Well, I just copied it. Okay. So it's going to select any element that looks like that, right? Simple enough. So it's an attribute selector. But this with the tilde is really cool. It's going to select this, right? So it's going to select this, but it's also going to select this. It's also going to select this because it will select if this thing inside of the selector is one of the space separated words inside of the attribute. So since Bob is, it has a space between it and John, this element is going to be selected because you use this tilde selector. It's so cool. So basically, you can be like data. I don't know, whatever. We could say whatever. Data wow, and then you could say like this element is red and green, red and has like a green border, and then you could style it like that, right? You could be like, I don't know if this is actually something you would want to do, but it's just an example. So then like for this, you could say like color equals red, and then here you could do green border, and then you could do border equals 1px solid green. So you could attach like multiple styles to it. I guess there's no real advantage to doing this over classes, but for remake it actually ends up working out really well. But I just think it's just such a neat selector. Yeah, I guess classes work better most of the time though. Because with classes you can just say, if this was just a class, then you could just do the same thing, right? You could just do red and green border. So yeah, that's like a special property of classes, is that they they're like split out into their own things. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool selector. Okay, so we're gonna do remake edit, and then we're gonna, oh shoot. This is how you would do it in Sass. But you can't do it that way. I gotta do it this way. Okay, so we'll do there, and then we'll do display block, and oh no. Oh no. Okay, we'll do display none here. So I just realized that as time is going on, my like automatic inline edit area generation is getting more and more complicated. So now we have some styles added, and they are making everything not work. I Scream Codes. That's a really good name. We're getting a lot of people with good names in here. How's it going, Ice Cream Codes? What are you working on? What do you want the tutorial we're going to be doing in 10 minutes to be about? We're going to do a custom tutorial based on whatever y'all want to know about. Okay, so when I click this, we're going to turn on this thing. And we're going to, oh wait, I messed up. So yeah, I can just delete this. Okay, so we're just display block that. I'm just listening in while I do my JJob coding. Okay, cool. Well, if you have anything you want to learn about, just paste it in the channel. Other than that, we'll just we'll be doing the tutorial soon. Dejuzi, how you doing? How's your life? How's your work? How's everything going? Dejuzi, if you want to, if you have any ideas about what our tutorial should be about, let me know. Okay, so I think this will work just like that. So we'll do display block, display none. I don't know if that works. Sometimes CSS, like the order of CSS selectors messes me up. Let's see, why isn't this displaying? So it's display none, but it has these switches. Yeah, see, so this is the problem. So we need to put this after this display none because of the order. Okay, so now if we do that, we should get a display. Nice. So now we've got the backdrop and we've got the inline edit area showing up. The backdrop's ahead of the inline edit area for some reason. Okay, so it's because this is z-index 10. So actually this shouldn't have a z-index on it, and we'll do that and form. Okay, so form is going to be position absolute, and it's going to be what is it going to be? It's going to be, oh yeah, z-index 10. That's what it's going to be. Okay, so we'll do that, refresh, click this. Boom, this is our auto-generated inline edit area. It's not auto-generated yet, but it will be soon. Okay, cool. So now we can change this to John 1, save it, and look, it updates in the background. It doesn't disappear, but we'll fix that too. Okay, so let's go to the submit button and let's add a switch action to it and say it disappear, you know, when you're clicked. And we'll do this. We'll put 1 in there. We'll save it. Boom, now it updates. So now we've got this inline edit area working. We also need to go into our CSS, go to our button, add a text decoration of none because we don't want it to be underlined. And why isn't this aligned to the right? Remake edit areas. Why is this one so small? It's because the form's so small. Why is the form so small? It's because... Why is the form so small? Ah, jeez. Okay. Let's check our CSS. Position absolute. Width 100. Whoa, Tornado and Eagle? I guess it's just Eagle. Hey Eagle, how you doing? If you guys want to vote on what the topic of the tutorial should be, please fill out this form. And this is the last chance to fill out the form for the topic of the tutorial that we are going to be doing within probably the next 5 to 10 minutes. Choose the tutorial topic. Okay, cool. Okay, so why is this form so small? Edit areas. It's Joao FRF. Cool. Nice to meet you, or nice to have you join our channel, Joao. Welcome. Make yourself at home. Let us know if you're interested in a certain tutorial topic. We're going to be doing a live tutorial on a JavaScript, CSS, or web development topic soon, very soon. Okay, so why is this? I think I have like a min width. I have a min width set on this, but why would that affect anything? Because the min width. Oh, okay, I got it. So it wants to be smaller. I guess we'll do 300 just for now. Just for now, we're just going to do 300. Okay, cool. So now we've got this working. Wait, it's still not working. It's still not working. So what is this? Does this have it? This has a min width. 300. Is this 300? No, that's 212. So why isn't this expanding to... I bet it just needs a width of like 100%. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll do 240 since that wasn't really the bug. And then what's inside of this? So we got width. Oh wait, no. We do not want this on that. We want the min width on the form. Okay. Good. Okay, still not good. Okay, I'm gonna close this down for now. I think we made a lot of progress on the auto-generating inline edit areas. Working on auto-generating inline edit areas for remake. Okay, so I'm just gonna check this over real quick, make sure I'm not committing anything that I didn't want to. Okay, looks good. We'll push that out. I'm going to close GitHub. I'm going to close my current project. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to ask you guys, what do you want to learn about? Let's look at the what we've got at the Google form. And see what most of the votes are about. 9 responses. Cool. So we've got React.js, Flexbox, CSS, and tied for first place. And then second place is Node.js / Express.js. Okay, so we are tied for React.js and Flexbox. If anyone hasn't filled out the form, please break the tie between React and Flexbox. Okay. I did that by hand, and it's because the framework that I'm building um, is pretty much based around data attributes, so it has a lot of them. Um, so yeah, so it needs to be distinguishable. And another so if you look at Pug is like a Pug.js. Pug is like a server-side rendering engine for Node.js. It's a really popular one, actually. And if you go into their documentation, they actually suggest, though, if you have many attributes, you can spread them across many lines. And I actually started with using Pug. I wasn't using nunchucks before, and so that's where I got the idea for doing this. And I was actually worried that HTML wouldn't, nunchucks wouldn't support it, but luckily it does. I mean, there's no really real reason why it shouldn't. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be right back. I have to do a quick stop somewhere. I'm not going on an errand or anything. I'm just going to the restroom. I'll be right back in 2 minutes, and then we will do the tutorial. So vote on the tutorial, break the tie between React and Flexbox, and I will BRB. Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, what is up? We got another vote. We got a vote for Flexbox. So, you guys want to learn about Flexbox? Is that what we're doing? Okay. I was actually a little excited about doing React because um, everyone was requesting React yesterday. So I actually prepped the starting of a React project for today. However, we did CSS Grid yesterday, and that was a technology I was kind of unfamiliar with. and I wasn't looking forward to doing 2 tutorials in a row with technologies I am unfamiliar with. So I'm actually kind of glad that we're not doing React. But yesterday, this is what we did with CSS Grid, and I think it turned out pretty good. We set out with a goal of copying this layout, or yeah, this layout. You can see like in the pink, right? And we got really close. Like if you look at them side by side, it's pretty close. So I was really happy with that. So today we will do some Flexbox, and oh yeah, I'll show you like real quick how we did it, because it's actually really easy. So all you have to do is like label each item in your grid with like a special tag. So here we just use like A through M in the alphabet, so about half the alphabet. And then we just created a template, and we just said, okay, A should go up here, then B should go like right here, and then C should go right here, and then we assigned each class to the grid area. So we said like class A is the same, is like grid area A, and then in this template, A stands for A is like referencing that class because that's defined with the grid area. So yeah, that's pretty much all it takes in order to create a layout like this, and I was really happy that we were able to create such a complex layout so quickly. So today we're going to do CSS Grid. So let's create a new folder in GitHub. Wait, did I just say CSS Grid? I meant Flexbox. So we'll do CSS Flexbox, and we're going to create an index file, and HTML5 template. So this is the template that I always start with. And let's go to dashboard, this one. We'll go to this one. So this is, yeah, this is the actual code, and I'll just post that in chat for you from yesterday. So if you guys want to play around with CSS Grid, grid example, you can go there, and we'll get started with some Flexbox. So what are you guys interested in with Flexbox? Where do you want to start? I guess we could create like a page layout and then just like create some items on that page layout, or we could create like a grid system. I don't know. You guys have any ideas? We could look up like some complicated layouts and try to mimic one of those. Yeah. Why not? I can look up like a web design, like maybe a layout on like Dribble. And maybe we'll like do one of these layouts trying to use Flexbox as much as possible. But we're not going to like design the whole thing. Like we're not going to do all like the drop shadows and the colors. We'll just try to get like the basic layout working. Oops. So like that looks like kind of an interesting layout. A lot of these are mobile layouts. Man, that looks so cool. Like some of these designs are like, are these even real? It's so cool. Okay, so there's that. There's that one. I think the first one, honestly, is probably the best layout for doing with Flexbox. Okay, so let's do this. So we're going to drag this into Sketch, and I'm gonna set like a timer of like an hour. So like by 2:15, I'm probably gonna be done with this tutorial. I might go a little bit beyond that, but it's probably gonna be about an hour. Okay, so we will drag this in here, and we're just gonna like outline kind of like the basics, the basic elements of what we want. And I know I told you guys this yesterday, but for anyone who wasn't here, I just like to do this to give us like a strong starting foundation and like very clear expectations of like what, like this is what I would do on an actual project, you know, like for myself. I would like um, kind of outline the different, I don't know, this is like kind of like a high level specification of this project. It's like, okay, we need this list here, and it's gonna have like an icon to the left. Like this little like visual representation is pretty much like covering all of that idea, and then we don't have to actually like work off of the design itself and like compare our, you know, kind of bad design to this really nice design. Because all we're trying to do is learn about the layout. Does this work for you guys for how we're going to do this? Yeah, Sketch is pretty sweet. I really like Sketch a lot. Okay, cool. Cool. So we'll do this. Do this one. Oh, that's kind of one there too. Okay, and then we'll do this one here. And then we've got these. I think a lot of this can actually be done with Flexbox. You guys kind of lucked out when you chose Flex, because it's like kind of something I have a decent amount of experience in. I'm not by any means an expert, but I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good with it. And I think I'll probably learn some stuff here too, so that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I've heard really, really good things about Figma. A lot of people are switching from Sketch to Figma. Okay, so we're going to add this over here. So these are a little bit more complicated. This is going to be like a multi-line thing here, and then it's going to be like a little chat thing, like that. And then we're going to have this middle line, and I guess all of the chats are aligned to the left, so that actually is very good for us, because then we're not going to have to do like multiple different types. And you'll notice I'm not like matching things up exactly here, and that's because like they're pretty much have all the same layout, so once we do one of these, we're going to have all of them. So I'm not really paying too much attention to like getting it exact for that. Okay, oops. So we'll do that. And then finally our little area here, and we can have this little button up over here, and we'll make that a different color. Okay, so this is kind of our layout. Let's see if we missed anything. So if we bring that above, so we could do like these internal areas here. I think let's like save that, because I mean it's going to be a lot just to get through what we already have. But yeah, I think this is good. I think we've pretty much covered everything as far as I'm concerned. Oh wait, we missed this. We missed this right here. Okay, cool. So we've got all that. We're going to copy this and then we'll paste it over here. So now we have the original, but now we can get rid of this background and we can create like 3 columns. So we'll do these 3 columns and we'll push these behind and then we'll make these all different colors. Or we can just make the middle one different color, I guess, just to differentiate it. Why not make them all different colors, right? So, like that. Okay, so this is the design. This is the awesome, pretty design that we're making. I'm going to be like a tiny bit OCD and like, am I making it better or worse? I feel like I'm making it worse. Man, so much worse. Okay, that looks better. That looks decent. And then let's make these a little bit darker. Okay, I swear we're gonna get to the Flexbox really soon. Okay, there we go. And these are all like the same items, but then we have this little item in here. This thing, I forget what that thing was. So let's like have the original. Oh wait, copy paste, ungroup, grab all these. Okay, so yeah, what was that? That's like a toggle thing. And then this is like the heading. That's that area. Okay, so first let's create like the general layout. So before we do anything, let's create this area. So this is step 1. Then I think probably step 2 is like this. So we'll do that. Then step 3, we'll tackle this. And then we'll finish up with this guy over here. So that's the order of what we're going to do things in. And yeah, so let's get started. So this container area, we got to open up our index.html. Looks beautiful so far. We're going to get like a normalized CSS file so that like our CSS, our like base CSS looks decent. Hello, Red Hat Ranger. We're learning about Flexbox right now. Let me know if you have any questions about Flexbox. We're recreating this layout using Flexbox, but we're not recreating like the whole design. We're just recreating the layout, which is like this outline. And we're starting with just the basics. Okay, so we'll get normalize. Now if we refresh, it looks the same. Okay, so let's get a CSS file in here. We'll do main.css. And I think we want like a container first. So we got div. Yeah, please. Yeah, we're doing a tutorial right now for about an hour on Flexbox, and then next time, which is tomorrow, you can vote again on what the topic's going to be. It could be like React, it could be Node, it could be Flexbox, it could be, we did CSS Grid the other day. So I'll usually like work on my personal project for a while. The noob life. You could have broken the tie. It was almost React, but Flexbox won by a small margin. So you got here earlier next time, maybe. Yeah, you were all about the React yesterday. Okay, so we have this container. We'll have like sidebar left. Oh, nice. So we'll have like sidebar left. We'll have like sidebar, sidebar right. And if you're curious about what this syntax is, like why I'm repeating sidebar and then doing that, like the dash dash, it's the BEM, B-E-M methodology of writing CSS. Okay, and we'll do main here. Okay, so now we've got container, sidebar, and main. So we'll do container, sidebar, sidebar left, sidebar right, and main. Actually, we probably want to put main up higher because it's, you know, main. Okay, so now on the sidebar, let's make it like have a background of the same color of our design. So let's go to our design and use this obscenely bright color. If it bothers any of you guys, just let me know and I can change it. And for, I think, the container, we can do like height of like 100px just so that we can see things. And I don't know. I don't know if we make everything else the height of 100 pixels. How can we artificially do this? I guess we just do, yeah, I think we just do height of 100px, and then we'll do that for this and the sidebars too. I think that should work. So if we do that, and then we get the background color also for the main area, let's get this color, and then we save that and we refresh this. We have nothing. So the container, so height isn't working. I forget why that doesn't work. Oh, it's because the body doesn't have a height. Okay, so I think that's why it doesn't have a height. Yeah. Thank you, Brandon Kim. Oh, do we need, no, we can say 100px height for the body, can't we? Why isn't this working? Sorry, 100%. Is it, I mean, no, that shouldn't matter. Why is, oh, do I need to set it on the HTML too? That's probably right. There we go. Okay, so now we've got these three. This is our first sidebar, then this is our main area, and then this is our second sidebar. And yeah, so that all looks good. Okay, so now we need to position these correctly. So we can do that using Flexbox. And I highly recommend checking out this complete guide to Flexbox by CSS Tricks. It will really teach you everything you need to know. But we can do everything we want pretty much by just putting display flex on here. So we put display flex on here. Watch how this transforms. Oh my god. Wow, I feel like a total idiot now. You guys should all be laughing at me because what happened? Wait, huh? Display flex. Is it because they don't have content? It can't be because they don't have content, is it? Okay. Okay, so I expected, oh, it is. It's because they don't have content. Okay, so the point, I think kind of the point of Flexbox is that it's going to expand to like expand or contract based on two things. So it's based on the content that's in there, and then also based on the available space that it has. So if we look at like what the default like flex property is for a flex item, the default is 0, 1, auto. And that stands for grow, shrink, and basis. And if you're curious what basis is, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to explain it to you because I don't understand it. I've read about it multiple times, and I think it has something to do with like the ratio at which it's going to grow, or shrink. So it's kind of like its priority, kind of, or like its ratio compared to other elements, but I'm still very unclear about that. But flex grow and flex shrink are pretty clear. I think those are, hey Smilefax, how's it going? We're learning about Flexbox. Do you know about Flexbox? Because we could sure use some help. So, not really. I kind of know about Flexbox, but yeah. Obviously, my first foray into it didn't go as planned. I really thought I knew. Okay, so we have flex grow of 0 currently, so because that's the default for each of the items. So I think what we can do is just say flex grow 1, and that means it's not going to be off. So 0 means it's off. So if we say, let's try this with this one. So with main, we're going to say flex grow, and we're going to say 1. And that's going to mean that we're giving this permission to grow, to expand as wide as it wants to. Boom. So now we've got our sidebar, and we've got our main area, and we've got our sidebar. And this is pretty much perfect, right? Because it's pretty much looking exactly like our design does. So if we refresh that, I mean this and this is pretty much, yeah, that's right, guys? So I think what we can do is also put flex grow on our sidebars, and then we'll get what I thought we were going to get at the start. Boom. So now we've got sidebar, main, and sidebar. And if you guys are curious why Flexbox is so awesome, try doing this layout without Flexbox or Grid. It's like nearly impossible. Okay. So next steps. We want the, float hell, exactly. And like the sidebar will like never expand down to the right height. Okay, so let's actually like put a height on these that's a little bit easier to work with, or not like easier to work with, but will just like give us lots of room. So we'll put like 60, like a hard, height on them. Okay, so now we have a little room to scroll. So the next part of this is we want this middle area to be bigger, but we have to make a decision right now. Is this layout that we're creating going to be responsive, or are we just building like this basic layout? I think we only have like another 45 minutes, so making this responsive I think is a tall ask. I think the most we could do, can you set height with it? Like, can you set height with Flexbox? Oh, max height? Responsive mobile first design. Okay. It's just really, I mean, that's a hard ask. We could kind of do it. But for now, let's... Okay. Let's do it. Let's try it. I think mobile first is important. No, what did you mean? Can you set height, max height? Like, did you mean on, like here? Like these heights? Like max height? Is that what you mean? Because if we set max height, it's gonna go down to like a very small height, because it needs a height. Okay, so now we get into the ratio thing, I think, where we can say like, okay, this one's going to be 2 times these ones. I think that's what FlexRow 2 will do. Because it's going to have like twice the ratio as the other ones. Does that kind of look right to you guys? We got 375 and then we've got 689. So it fills as needed up to 1600. Yeah. I think so it fills as needed up to 1600. But so okay, let me show you what will happen if we do max height. So it'll be very small. So it needs like a min height too. So we could give it like a min height of 100%. Yeah, you're right. We could do that. We could do like min height 100% and then like a max height. Well, but then it doesn't need a max height. Because why would we want it? Why would we want to limit it? We would want the content to always just. So yeah, I guess we'll just give it a min height. That's fine. What is going on? No, it's okay. Height. Yeah, but I mean, why would we want a max height? I don't think that's good to have. I don't know. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll just do height of 100% for now. Okay, so we've got the, this ratio kind of looks right to me. I think we want to have this be a little bit bigger. And then we're going to have like a min width on all of these guys. Because if we want this to be responsive, min width works really well with Flexbox. So usually I define min width before height. So let's say like min width 300 px for now. We can change this later. So we'll do that on the sidebars and the containers. And then on our container, we're going to do a property that allows the Flexbox items. So by doing display flex, we're making all of the items inside the container the Flexbox items. So we want all of these items to be able to wrap when the page gets too small. So right now, you'll notice if we make the page really small, they still stay next to each other, but they stay in ratio to each other. But if we do flex wrap, and then we refresh, now since we have the min height set on them, they're going to wrap into the next. Hey Laraz, you want to make dumb? That's cool. I support that. So now they're going to wrap, and then if we expand it so that they can fit with the min width that we gave them of 300 px, then they're going to come in one at a time. So that might not be exactly what we want, because we might want them to wrap like all at once or not at all. You know, like having the sidebar and then the main and then the other sidebar down here doesn't really make sense. It only kind of makes sense to have them all wrap. So actually we're going to do something slightly different. I want to make dumb shit using C# for robots like Michael Reeves. Got any tips on starting to learn C#? Unfortunately, C# isn't my forte, but you could ask around in the channel. Other people might have some experience. So we're going to do a media query, and we're going to say like max width, like 640px, and we're just kind of like estimating what a mobile device would be. It would probably go up to like about 640. That's usually like a pretty good size. Even like tablets that are above that, they'll usually be able to like fit this whole design on there. Um, um, love you too, Loras. I hope you have a good day. So we're gonna do, let's see, what do we want to do? Oh yeah, so we're gonna do for main and sidebar. Or no, sorry, actually, just for container, we're gonna do something different than display flex. So we can just do like display block, I think. This might work. Who knows? So if we refresh and we go, maybe it's below like 900, just so we can see this more easily. And let's bring up our developer tools so we can see like the screen width. Okay, so great. So now when we go, so we can see the measurement in the top right, like the ruler, the width. So we're going down, 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 down. We're almost at 900. And when we get to below 900, now it turns into the display block, so they're all stacked on top of each other. And that means we don't really need the min width anymore. So we'll delete that, I think. And flex wrap we also don't really need, because it's not going to be display flex once we get down below a certain breakpoint now. So now we've got this responsive layout with a sidebar, main, and sidebar. However, since we are doing the responsive layout, thank you very much, Brandon Kim. I think it's really important, actually, to do mobile designs. Will the code be? Yeah. The code will definitely be somewhere online. I could actually maybe try. Sullivan, thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So I could maybe do this in CodePad. And then you guys could like play around with it. Yeah, let's see. So we'll grab this, paste it in there for our CSS. Oh, and now we'll be able to get a CSS processor, and we'll get normalize for free. That's cool. And we're not working with JavaScript, so we'll push that to the side, and we'll put this in there. Oh wait, we don't need normalize there anymore. Oh, we don't need the style sheet anymore. Oh, and this isn't Sass anymore. This isn't Sass. So we'll get rid of these, get rid of those, and get rid of semicolons. Okay. Okay. There we go. And I will paste this for you in chat. There you go, Android. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll just close that project and we'll work with this. Okay, so since we're doing the responsive layout, it doesn't really make sense to, no problem. So it doesn't really make sense that the sidebar comes before main, right? Like, that really doesn't make sense. Like, if someone's browsing your page and they come to your page, they came for main. They came for the main content. The like navigation shouldn't be displayed first. So one possibility is just like hide the sidebar or like position it absolutely. But another option I've seen is putting the sidebar after main. So like if you want like a hamburger menu and then you want the sidebars to pop up, you can do that, but that's not the solution I'm gonna explore right here. So first of all, we're gonna go to OpenColor and we're gonna get this is like just a color library, And we're just going to get some different colors for our left sidebar and our right sidebar. So we'll do background color pink and background color grape. And we can delete that default sidebar color because we're not using it anymore. And now they should be different colors. Come on, guys. Oh wait, did I not attach the right classes? I did, right? Sidebar left and sidebar right. Anyone know what's happening here? I don't know why this suddenly stopped working. And I'm not getting like any errors. Oh, cannot read property. Oh, I think it's because I have this stuff in there. You're not supposed to include that. That's my bad. Maybe that was it. Buy, sell ads. What the heck? I think this might be a CodePen error. Yeah, I think this might be a CodePen thing that's happening. Maybe it's because I'm blocking ads. This is nice. This little ad down here, but it's still not fixed. It could be a SAS to CSS issue, but I'm not seeing. Like we're using. Okay. You're right. We're using a mix of tabs and spaces. The thing you should never do. Okay. So we got that. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate that, definitely. Okay, cool. So now we're back to just using spaces. Okay, so, and we've got this, and we've got slightly different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this first sidebar. So we're going to say like sidebar left and sidebar right. I'm going to move this first sidebar below the main area when we get to a small enough screen width. So when we get below 900. So let's figure out how to do that. I think it's a flex order property. So flex order. By default, flex items are laid out in source order. However, the order property controls the order in which they appear in the flex container. So 1, 1, 1, you can do -1, you can do like 1,000,000. I think it starts, I don't think it's 0 indexed. So I think what we can do is do sidebar left when we're below 900 px. We'll do sidebar left and we'll do, is it just order? Yep, so we'll do order and 2, I believe. So we're below 900 px, and the sidebar left is still appearing at the top. Let's try 3. Oh, you're right. Thank you, dude. So you lost the flex. Yep, you're right. Okay, so let's keep the display flex that's a good point. Definitely a good point. So we'll do flex direction column, I think. So let's do flex direction column. And that should switch the layout. So now we have main, then sidebar right, then sidebar left. We're still using Flexbox at the small size. Okay, and we wanted sidebar left to actually be a little bit higher up, so we just want it to be at 2. So let's see if that, now it'll go just right after main. Is it 1? What? Okay, so 0 is it's at the top. 1 is it's at the bottom? Does that make sense to anyone else? By default, all of them are 0. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. So, okay, so let's handle that. So we'll do sidebar right, and then we need main. We need main too. So that kind of sucks. So we have to define a custom order for all of them. So we'll do main is going to be 0, then we want sidebar left, which we can leave 1, and then we'll do sidebar right. And we can put this first because it technically comes first on the page. Okay, so now if we save that and we resize to lower, now we have main, then sidebar left, then sidebar right. Okay, so now we've got our basic page, and it's responsive, and it's laid out with Flexbox. And it didn't really take that much. It took a little bit more than I thought it was going to take, but it didn't really take that much. Okay, let's add a color of white to this, and then let's add, no, does that look good? That looks fine, I guess. Font size 24px, and we'll add a padding to all of these, just so we can see like the different areas a little bit better. So we'll say like padding 1 rem and padding for this one too. Okay, great. So next, let's go back to our design, and let's look at our left-hand side. So we have this little like profile area with like the name, and then followed by, I think it's like a date or something. Let's see what it is. Okay, so a name and a role, and then we have this like little picture here. So it's kind of like a media object. So we might actually have a lot of these media objects. See, like this is kind of looks like a media object where it has like a little icon or image, and then it has like a thing over there. So we might be able to create like a reusable thing for all of those, like a reusable utility for all those. So this one too has that. Yeah, so it makes me think maybe we could. So let's create like a very general utility for that. But the way I usually like to start with that kind of stuff is just like building out the like simplest version first. So let's just like build out like what we would do if we were just building this once, and then we can generalize it after that. So we'll call this like profile, I guess. So profile box. And then we're going to have like a profile image. And that's going to be its own box. And then we're going to have like profile info. And then we're going to have like 2 things inside of that, right? Because we have the name and then we have the role. So we'll do that and that. And in fact, we're going to use bem again for this. So we're going to do like underscore underscore profile underscore underscore image, profile underscore underscore name, and then profile underscore underscore role. And let's get like the example thing that they use. So we'll do like Alice Johnson. and lead designer. Okay, so now we've got that, and we want the image to actually be an image, I think. So we'll, oh wait, what did I do? Okay, so we'll do image, and then we'll do source, and let's get like a lorem, or like, yeah, lorem ipsum image. So I think this should be okay. Let's try this one too. Okay, so we'll get this one, or okay, and we want a square image. Okay, so this is going to be good for adding the profile and find a cat. Okay, we can do that. Cat or ipsum image. Place kitten. This is much better. I like that idea. Okay, so we will do this one and that. Okay, great. So now we've got to organize this. So we're going to create like a new area for the profile, and below this we're going to do and image. We're going to do and, so and the ampersand is just going to copy like this root class. So this is the equivalent of that, right? It's just going to paste that in there. Hey, Ashish Sing Bagel, how you doing? So we've got image, then we've got info, then we've got name, and then we've got role. Okay, so I think on the profile we want to do display flex, because we want these, whenever you want like two items to be like horizontally next to each other, doing the display flex on the parent is usually a good idea. So right there, we automatically get that. Now with the image, I think we want like a width of 100% and then a max width of 20px. How do you make images responsive? Does anyone know? I feel like I've looked this up like a million times. I think there's a new like aspect ratio thing, but I think there's a really easy way to do it. Do you just display block on it? No. Responsive images. But I did that. Max width 100%. And then you set the width. But like, how do you resize it? That's what I'm wondering. No. Image, aspect, ratio, resize. CSS. Okay, display block, max width, max height, width, height, auto. Cool, Android. I hope you have a good time. I'll see you on tomorrow. I'll be around at around 11 a.m. I think. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try height and width auto. And then can we change it now? Max width? No. We did everything it said. Oh, this is it. This is what we want, I think. Display block with 100, height auto. And then we have a parent. Okay, so we're going to do like image parent. And then that is going to be like with 100px. And then display block with 100% height auto and display block. Wait, no, because we didn't add the parent. We didn't add the parent yet. Okay. Div class profile. Boom. We are geniuses. We got it. Okay, so now we've got this little like media area thing working, kind of. The info is going to have like a margin left, I guess, of like 1 rem. Oops, we don't need a semicolon. 0.5 rem probably look better. Okay, so considering we're just going for like quickness, we're not really like too concerned about making the design look exactly the same. Like we're just going for the layout, right? We've got the basic layout. Are you guys satisfied that the layout looks good? Like we got the layout with Flexbox, so I think that's the important thing. I'm going to make these H2s, and then I'm going to make a style for H2s that just says, that actually looks fine how it is. Okay, so I'll just convert these into H2s real quick, just so we have like a little space and we can see what's going on. Okay, cool. And actually I don't like the margin top on those H2s because it makes it a little bit harder for us to see what's going on. So let's say margin, top is 0, right is 0, bottom is 1 rem, and left is 0. Okay, cool. So now we've got this dynamic layout which can be totally responsive, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so is anyone still with us? Are we watching this? I guess it's not that important. I can still try to do as much as I can of this. Okay, so then I think we can generalize this. But this is actually another little rule I kind of use in my head is like don't generalize until you need it. And then like grab out the parts that you need. Ice cream codes, thank you for saying you're watching. It is actually, Scott is alarmed. Hey, how are you doing? If you guys have any questions as we're going along in this, let me know. So we do kind of need this to be generalized for this next item, which is this. So basically what we have is this like left aligned item and then this like right aligned item, and this left aligned item has a variable width, but we could add like different widths to it depending on what it is. So why don't we do like media object as the parent class, and then we're just going to say like left, and then image is fine, and then right, and then name and role is like whatever, we don't care about that. So for these we can just delete that. For profile info, we're going to replace that with media object left. or right, and we'll do this left, and then we've got the image. We'll just leave that image because we're probably always going to make an image be in there for this design, and we'll do media object. So now we should have that. Media object. Oh yeah, we didn't do this one. So this should be media object image. Do I have some kind of schedule? You have to leave now, but you'd really like to come back to your channel, really like what you do and how you do it. Awesome. I really appreciate that a lot. That means a lot. I am on vacation this week, which is why I'm streaming so much. I will be on tomorrow and Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., at least from that time. And in the future, I'm going to try to stream more often because I actually really enjoy this. So I might be on like every day in the future, but I don't have like a solid schedule yet. But on Thursdays and Fridays, it'll probably be around the same time from like 11 to 2 p.m. Thanks for watching and thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we have media object, and we've got display flicks, and we've got all of the kind of like basic properties of this defined. So now we can reuse this media object class for the next item. So, and that one's going to be a little bit smaller, but we can grab that EST, Eastern. So it's like Boston time. Awesome. Thank you, Pulify. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the follow. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay. So we're going to duplicate this media object, and then we want to add, nice, Columbus, Ohio, same time zone. So we want to make this a smaller one. So the question is, should this be like a different type of media object entirely? Or should we add like a special class just to the image to make that image smaller? So like this is 105 pixels wide and this is 79 pixels wide. So like for these different objects, we could just like have a special class of like, I don't know, W-100. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely think about it. Right now, I stream directly to Twitch, and I don't actually keep the videos, but I will definitely consider posting them to YouTube as well. Thanks for the feedback. So we could add like a special class to each of these, one for like width 80 and one for width like 100 or 105. And then we would attach that to this media object image. Or we could say, no, this makes it so that it's a different type of media object, and we could modify the media object itself. There's not like a huge difference between these. One of them, like the one that lets us edit the media object itself, adds a bit more flexibility in the future. But there's no like real reason to do one or the other. I guess my instinct is just to do it this way. So we'll do media object, and then we'll call it like small. And then up here, we can do and dash dash small. And the dash dash with the BEM methodology means that you're modifying the the thing that came before it. So like this is the block after the underscore. This is called an element, and then dash dash is a modifier. Couldn't you do media object first at 100 and the rest at 80? Well, so Yeah, but I'm like, so I'm thinking we might reuse this in a lot of different places. Like we might reuse it for like this, and like, I guess that's around the same size as of 100. And this one, and that's around the same size as 80. Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll do that. So we'll do like dash dash small, and then we'll do for the left. Um, so we actually need to copy this full class down here. So so you can think of this like dash dash modifier as like theming a a class. So we're doing dash dash small. We're theming this class, and inside of this theme, we're saying that the left should have a width of 80 px. So now if we do that, now we've got this new theme where this one's smaller. And I guess by default we can say like margin bottom for each of these media objects is like 1 rem. It doesn't seem super accurate. I think these are probably more like 2 rem, and then this is 3 rem up here. So let's make it like a minimum of 2 rem. So that's good. And then we can add a bunch of these media objects, and let's just see what it was in the original design, what they used. So dashboard projects calendar. So for this one, we'll do dashboard. Okay, cool. And we'll do projects and calendar. And here's where we run up against our height. So we're just going to make it like a height of 3000 px. We can change it later because it's we can like make it more adaptable later. But we're just going to give ourselves a lot of room to breathe. Okay, so now we have a height of 3000, so we're not going to run out of space. Okay, so now we've got sidebar left. We've got Alice Johnson, lead designer, with like the big profile image. And then we've got these 3 items. They're all defined with this like reusable media object, which is display flex, and it has the left area, the image, and the right. And we figured out how to make images responsive by giving them a parent that has the width defined on it, and then giving the image itself a display of block, a width of 100%, and a height of auto. So now we've kind of got this. I think that's kind of good enough, right? For the sidebar, maybe we could go down to the bottom button. I'm really not actually sure how I would do the bottom button. Does anyone have any ideas? So if we look at like this debug mode, so I like debug mode in CodePen because even though the link doesn't last forever, like this link I guess will expire after a while, it gives me like the un-iframed version of the website. So this is like what the website would look like live. If you look at like the full page view, it gives you this like awful sidebar at the top, which I don't like. Okay, so how would we get the button at the bottom? Could we do that with Flexbox? I guess what we could do is do a, I've run into problems with this before, but we could do flex direction column. I guess we could try it, right, and see what happens. So let's do flex direction column on the sidebar. Flex direction column. And let's just see what happens. So if we refresh this, nothing changed. And let's just confirm that this is like getting that style that we just set. So if we look at, yep, flex direction column. Is the button down below because of the amount of content, or does it always stick to the bottom? So yeah, I was thinking, that's a good question. I was thinking that it always stuck to the bottom, but let's see. Yeah, see? So it's not because of the amount of content, it's just always at the bottom. So it's kind of like a dashboard application, and maybe you would use this on an iPad or something, and then you'd click this with your thumb, I guess, or something. Um, so, so like one option, one obvious option is to place the button in this sidebar container and then position it absolutely and position the sidebar relative, and then we could definitely stick the button in the bottom left corner with absolute positioning. But I want to try it this other way where we use the flex direction. So we did flex direction on the sidebar. I don't know why I've run into so much trouble with flex direction before. It just ends up causing so many more bugs. But maybe we can see why it does that and then learn from it. But if it doesn't cause any bugs right now, then we'll be fine. Instead. So instead what? Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's add the button to the bottom. You could probably add the button as part of the overall container and then align self and individually style that button, right? Okay, this sounds interesting, but I'm not sure what you mean. You could probably add the button as part of the overall container and then align self to bottom. Okay, so let's look at align self. So you've got flex start, flex end. Yeah, but I mean, we're still going to need to use, flex direction, right? Because right now our container is laid out so that, like if you just do display flex on the sidebar, it just like flex is just working on the horizontal axis. It doesn't give you any control over, right? It doesn't give you any control over positioning elements. Oh man. Does it? Yeah, you need flex direction. Because okay, yeah. Because this is the thing. So you're right, we could use align self, but then all of these media objects would be beside each other. I guess we could put them in a container, but that just seems like it's getting too complicated. So I think using flex direction is going to be the best approach here. So let's put this button in here. So we'll add it right at the bottom of the sidebar, and we'll just make it like, I hate using regular buttons because it's kind of hard to override their style. But yeah, sometimes I like using like links instead, like anchor tags, but that's not a great practice. So let's see what it said in the original. So add event, so we'll say add event, and we'll give this button a class, and we'll just say like button, and then button slash large and button slash blue. Okay, so, oh wait, there's one other thing we need about it, but that's okay. We'll worry about that in a second. Let's get like the basic styles of this button working. I'm gonna stop this cast probably within 10 minutes, so just so you guys know, that's probably how long this is gonna go for. But I want to at least finish this first sidebar. So let's get this nice blue color. So we'll get that nice blue color for our button. And let's see. Color is going to equal white. And large is going to mean that it has some good padding. So we can give it like, what do you say, like 12px, 12px, or no, 9px, 12px, and then usually I put like an extra bit at the bottom, more than the top, And then, yeah, that'll probably look good. And then we'll do rounded corners, and that can be by default on the button element. So we'll do like border radius 5px, something like that. Now the problem is buttons are gonna like come with their own styles. So I think I have to do like border 0 and outline 0. Hey Neltsu, thank you so much for helping out yesterday with the, you helped out so much with the Flexbox Grid. We're working with, or sorry, not Flexbox Grid, CSS Grid. So we're working on Flexbox right now. And we're trying to break our entire layout. What happened? No, seriously, what happened? Okay, what happened? So let's save that, make sure, oh, we broke it before this? What? Div media object, and then this div connects with, oh, the container. We lost a, oh, we lost this div up here for some reason. So that's media object. Then this div should connect with the sidebar. Okay, good, 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 good. So I think it was CodePen. CodePen has like auto completion turned on, which is really annoying sometimes. But okay, so we'll put that button back in there. So we're trying to align this button to the bottom of this column using Flexbox. So this looks kind of okay, but I think we could use a little bit more padding. So we could do like 12px and then 18px and then 13px. Let's just see, maybe that looks a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So let's align it to the bottom. So we have this set up where we have the flex direction. I think that's what it's called, right? Flex direction set to column. So yeah, this flex direction is set to column. So now we need to align this to the bottom. So someone else suggested align self. I think we could use that here. Now when you switch the flex direction, I think it means that things got a tiny bit wonky. Not like actually wonky, but it's just like changing the axis. I think that's how they describe it. It's changing the axis. So things that used to apply horizontally, like you would think they were going to apply horizontally, now they apply vertically. So align self, I believe by default, applies vertically. So now it's going to apply horizontally. That would be my guess. So my guess is going to be that this doesn't work. But let's try it. So we're going to do flex end. And let's inspect. Yeah, so it didn't work. So I think that's because, also, how do you make the background for the sidebar look modern with colors and stuff? So I use this open color library, and it has like a lot of really nice colors in it. I would highly recommend using it. It just makes it so much easier to think about colors. Another option is just to go to Dribble, and their designers are so on point, it's insane. They have so many good designs there, and what you can do is just like find a good design and then like steal their color scheme. So you could just like use this blue, use this orange. I mean, obviously you probably want to change it up a little bit and like, you know, make it original. But if you're just getting started, I think stealing / borrowing is fine. I even like sometimes look at like an illustration on Dribble and I'll just like say this is a really cool color scheme and then I'll use that. But yeah, those are some ideas for that. Okay, so add event. So we wanted to align this to the bottom. So this one normally does it vertically, but we want to find one that does it horizontally. Yeah, yeah, it is very, very cool. Also, like there's some really cool CSS frameworks out there. Tailwind is one. Bulma is another one. They have like color schemes built in. So you could just use that. So justify content is one, and then align items is the other one. So align items normally applies to like whether it's to the top or the bottom. Hey Noel Bergston, 2001, how you doing? So I think justify is what we want. So is there a justify self? Let's look. Let's search the page. Justify. Uh, I don't think there's a justify self. Um, Scott is alarmed. Thank you very much for the compliment. Thanks for all you do, and I really like your workflow. I really appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow and the next day around 11. So stop on by. Thanks for coming. So justify self sets the way a box is justified inside its alignment container along the appropriate axis. Is it in the spec? It's in the working draft, but it looks like it's in Chrome. Let's try it. So maybe justify self is what we want. Justify self, and then what would be the property? So I think there's another way of doing this too. Pack the item from the end. Pack flex from the end. Why is this so confusing? Why are there so many, right? End, flex end, self end. Is this even doing what I think it's going to do? The effect of this property is dependent of the layout mode we are in. In block level layouts, it aligns the item inside of the containing block along the for Flexbox layouts, this property is ignored. Oh, okay. Sorry, that was just pretty funny. Okay, so this is not what we want. So I think there's another way of doing this. So, so I think so if you look into like how to align items to the right, they'll give you like some really good answers. So align flex item to the right, and the answer is that you put margin left auto, and then flex is just like, oh, you have margin left auto. See, so this is a great thing about Stack Overflow. So like this is like a super tip on Stack Overflow. I know if you're a developer, you've used Stack Overflow and you probably already know this, but sometimes the top answer that's marked as the correct answer has less votes than the second answer. And when that happens, you know the second answer is the right one. Okay, so margin left auto. So that will make it so that let's run this code snippet. That'll make it so that the item is going to go all the way as much as it can to the left. So if you have like 3 items, this one's going to go halfway, and then the other one's going to go all the way. And then if you have like 2 items, this one's going to go all the way to the left, that one's going to go all the way to the right. So I think what we want to look up is like CSS Flexbox align bottom with flex direction column. Yeah, let's try this. Basically, the answer is to give to the last of the middle elements a flex scroll 1 as follows. Margin top auto. So margin top auto. I was kind of hoping it would be margin top auto. I'm actually like, even though this person just said that and it was the same thing as we just went through, right? top answer 26, second answer 97. So you know this is probably the right one. I'm still not convinced this is going to work, but let's try it. Margin top auto. And this is how it is with CSS all the time. In JavaScript, you can usually be like, yeah, this is going to work. It's logical. With CSS, it's like, who the heck knows? Yeah, so it didn't work. So what does he say? Okay. So I'm trying to use Flexbox. This shows nice alignment options, but I would actually want a top-bottom situation. That sounds a bit risque. I want a div to stick to the bottom of the parent div using Flexbox with flex direction column and align content space between. I can do this, but the middle div will always align in the center. I want the middle one to be stick to the top as well. Align cell flex end will make it float right, not bottom. Complete flex stocks. This guy's so helpful. He just is like adorable that he puts the link to the docs just in case you guys want to comb through it. That's really adorable, actually. Okay, so I'm a bit late to the party, but might be relevant for others trying to accomplish the same. You should be able to do margin top auto on the element in question, and it should go to the bottom. So, did the original guy say... This person didn't say that they're using... Oh, wait. They did say flex direction column, but maybe you don't need to use flex direction column, right? I don't know. I would assume you would need to, but let's try it without. Right? There's no way this is going to work. There's no way. So let's get rid of the flex direction column, refresh the page. Okay, yeah. So margin top. Wait. Yeah, margin top auto. Okay, let's put the flex direction back and let's refresh. It still doesn't work. We have the flex direction column on there. It's very weird. Why? Why isn't it working? This Stack Overflow thing said it should work. If you give the middle button... So another option that we could do here, which would be very quick, would be to put an item in here and say style. So this is one thing I've discovered after a lot of time with Flexbox and CSS in general, is that sometimes a hack is okay. But I'm not going to use a hack here. I'm going to find the right way to do it. I just want to show you that something you could do. Maybe. I'm not even sure if it's going to work. So we'll do flex grow 1 on this invisible item. Okay, well, I didn't close it. Okay. There we go. Okay. Why isn't that working? This is actually making me super sad. Oh, guys, I'm an idiot. I didn't put display flex on this. So this whole time, we've been working under this assumption that I'm a relatively intelligent, competent person, and it's been false. So display flex. Boom. We've got it without the hack. So we got it without the hack. Okay, so now I want to do... So if we do margin... So if we remove this margin top, I just want to show another example. Just in case you guys ever run into... you all ever run into a situation where you're like, I don't know how to get this to work. So we'll refresh. So now this works too. So we don't have to do margin top auto. And the way this is working is we have an item that's flex grow 1. So it's going to grow. None of these other items are going to grow. They don't have permission to grow. But this one is like woo, 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 all the way down, right? He gets to grow all the way. So it's just like this filler spacer kind of dud element, but it allows the other item to be pushed all the way to the bottom because it will grow. And someone asked, why is it so far down, LOL? So it's so far down because it's going to get pushed all the way to the bottom. So that's the whole point. That's what we were trying to do. Oh, but why is it so far? Maybe that's what you're asking. Why is it so far to travel? It's because we set we set a height of all of our columns at 3,000 pixels. So that's why. Okay, so let's go back. Let's use the right way. We won't use this spacer. And we're going to put this thing back, margin top auto. So this is the hack. Honestly, this is like the hack of Flexbox. This is the thing you need to know. Margin top auto and margin left auto. If you have like a bunch of items that are all aligned to the left and you want to align a couple items to the right, margin left auto on the closest item to the left is what you want. And then the same thing for if you want to align items to the bottom. If you have a bunch at the top, you do flex direction column, and then you do margin top auto. And I wasn't actually sure before today that margin top auto was going to work. So yeah, why does it work? So Flexbox handles margins differently. They if you have margin set to auto, then it's just going to treat that differently. It's just a thing you have to learn about Flexbox. It's going to make it so that that auto is going to expand into all of the available space. So remember the hack we used where we had the flex grow element? You can think of that. You can think of this auto property as that flex grow. Basically, you're saying, hey, Flexbox, if there's nothing else in this area, fill it up with this margin. That's what you're telling it with this margin top auto. And that's because Flexbox handles margin differently. That's not normally how margin would work in any other context, just inside of a flex item. Okay, so that is the live cast for today. That's all I'm going to do for now, guys. Or guys and gals. I really appreciate you stopping by and checking this out. I guess tomorrow I'll probably ask what you all want to do for the tutorial again. But we might continue. Awesome, Brandon, Ken. Really appreciate it. And if we decide to work on this again, we can work on the main content area. If not, we might switch to React or Vue.js or Node.js or something else. But thank you all for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I'll see some of you tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Bye.